Hey Visionary, and welcome back to our channel. So in this video, I'm going to be doing the journey through the gate. This is an advanced human design course, and it is a live course. And so I'm going to be giving you the recording, and we're going to go through the process of each gate and the archetypal energy of the line number. So this is a really powerful journey, and we're going to start with gate 1. So I will look forward to seeing you on the inside. All right, so welcome everybody to the journey through the gates. As I was saying, this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. This is our advanced human design. If you're new to human design, which I know some of you are, just kind of go for the ride because it really is an advanced. I mean, I would say that this is actually would be more considered like a level 5 type course, because once you kind of want to go through every level, go through the deconditioning, and then you go through the lines. However, with human design, it's great to get the knowledge. You could study all the knowledge. Like I would say in my first year I studied everything, but I didn't really understand how to live it. It's like I knew it, but I couldn't live it. And then, but I wanted to learn everything. And then the next year I took on the journey to like, okay, now I'm going to really live it because this stuff makes so much sense. So you go through layers of it. You go through layers and you kind of get the ahas where it's like, well, if I don't live it, then I'm in real serious like bitterness. And I think we've all had that, right? We were all like, okay, I get it now, or a real like serious frustration, right? So all those things do start to happen. So that's what forces us to go back and learn it more. So for those of you who are starting out in level 1, um, then just kind of go with the ride today. If you don't understand some of it, don't worry about it. Just kind of let the information kind of percolate. I'm going to take you through a journey. You'll get it, the experience of it. Even if you're like, wait, what did that mean? You'll still understand the energetics of it. Okay. So what we're going to do, if you guys, those of you who are new to my work, which many of you here are, my name is Raquel Reina, and I'm a spiritualized biz coach is what I call myself. But really what I do is I work with human design to assist people in their own personal journey of awakening and assist them in creating careers that are in alignment with their truth so that they can live as their uniqueness and allow their lives to represent it. And it's a journey, it's a power journey. And your life begins to change when you realize that you're acting out of the not self theme. And all of a sudden, new doors begin to open, new careers begin to open, new ways of making money start to happen, all these things when you're living your design. So it's really an exciting journey. It's my absolute favorite thing in the whole world to do. It's my true honor to have you all here. And so what I do with every course is I start with the centering. This is a way for everybody who's here live and everybody who's listening to the recording to tap into the infinite space of oneness where we can kind of come together and really commit to the journey that we're going to have during this class. It's non-denominational. So whatever your religion is, whatever you believe, you can bring this into the centering. It really is just a way for all of us to kind of energetically connect and let go of anything that might be distracting us and kind of really go deep. The deeper you guys participate, the deeper the group goes. So really it's like that journey I'm asking you guys to take. We're here, we might as well make it friggin' rock out, right? We're all here, so let's commit and make it powerful. So what I'd like to do is ask everybody who's here live and everybody who's actually listening to the recording, go ahead and shut down some screens, your phones, whatever you need to turn off, get yourself settled in, have a sip of tea, and then type in ready into the chat when you're ready to center. So, okay, great. Awesome. So Megan's ready. Lauren, ready to go deep. Awesome. Wendy. Hey, Wendy. So good to see you. She's ready. And Nessa, woohoo. I love you guys so much. It's so good to have you here. Dara is ready. I didn't even see you jump in. I'm so happy to have you. Charmaine is ready. Alexis. Woo-hoo. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is just go ahead and take in a breath. Close your eyes and bring your attention into this moment. And with that intention, you allow yourself to honor the journey. Allow yourself to just let go of anything that brought you here, anything you had to do earlier today, any pressure, any thought, any fear, any anxiety, anything that's weighing you down. Just kind of, the best thing to do is just pay attention to it, feel it in the body, get present. And now we're just going to say, we love you, we accept you, we release you. We love you, we accept you, we release you, so that we can now lift our attention up and bring our focus into the highest perception available for each one of us here today. To bring in the highest wisdom, the highest learning, the highest information, so that we can allow our great wisdom of the highest potential to move through our psyche, to allow us to reach into higher perceptions, to allow new doors to open, allow new opportunities to come through. And for one moment, I want you just to feel into this, into the silence of this, what happens when you shift your perception. And notice that when your mind talks, there's something bigger. It's your witness. And that is a powerful shift of perception. And once you do this, you notice and witness, then the vehicle intelligence begins to take the reins. That it knows what to do. It knows what path to take. It knows what is correct. It knows what is right. And that is satisfaction when you're in the right alignment. That is success when you are letting your aura mechanics take the lead of your life. All the doors open. There is no lack here. There's only this infinite moment, this infinite opportunity. Do you feel that? So just allow that to enter into the consciousness. And now bring your attention back here into this moment. Do you feel the power of this group? Do you feel everyone coming together? Just imagine that we're all holding the space for each other to have that heightened awareness. Feel that for a moment. And now bring your attention back into this group, into the Zoom, into this space. Thank you all so much for your beautiful consciousness, your presence. And I'm so happy to have you all here. Hi, Keiko. I just saw Keiko's ready. I missed it before. So let's dive in. Let's dive into the intel for today. So this is really interesting. So this is what we're going to talk about today. The journey through the gates. What does this mean? Okay. So basically we have base tone color. As you guys know, when you start to go through human design, it gets layers and layers deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So we know that we have the gates, and then so basically let me just kind of spell it out for you really quickly. First, what we do is we go through the centers, right? We go through like how to decondition when you're undefined, defined. We go through all those centers. Then we're going to go through the individuality, like whether you're tribal, whether you're individual, the collective, what that all means, right? Then the next levels, we go through the gates, like, okay, what does this gate mean and how does this gate operate? This level is the next one beneath that, which is the line number of each gate. So each gate in a line number is going to operate a little bit differently. Okay. So what you have is when you have, let's say, like, for example, whatever, if we all, whoever has this 61, right, it's going to operate a little bit differently when it's in this line number here, the line 5, than if it's in the line 1. And so usually you don't go through all these line numbers when you're first looking at your chart. You're just going to look at your gates, right? You're going to look at your gates, and then you're going to look at your channels, and then you're going to kind of get a sense. And once that's sort of digested, right, then you're going to be ready to go a little bit further into the line numbers. The other thing that I think is really fascinating, okay, is so each one of the gates has a line number. So there's an archetypal energy through each gate, okay? Now, what makes what we're going to do today kind of interesting, because we're going to go through gate 1, but not all of you have gate 1, right? But I wanted to touch on something that you all have, okay? And that comes from this essence of the gene keys. It's basically what the gene keys are, just to give you like a brief rundown, is that human design launched someone, Richard Rudd, who's a very spiritual teacher who went through all of human design, became a human design leader in Europe or in England. Human design did not like this, and they ostracized him and kicked him out of human design. And so he could not combine human design and the gene keys. He had to make them totally separate. But unfortunately, I don't believe that they are separate. That's just my humble opinion. So this knowledge is not being combined, and it's because of politics. Come on, people. Really? You're going to let the business come in between the power of the information that helps to transform people? I didn't realize I was going to get so worked up. But you guys agree with me? Why not bring all these things together? I think it's really important. This is all for transformation. Right? Exactly. It's all for the transformation. So that's basically what I'm doing. So there's a reason I like learning from you. Yeah, so I got to be myself, right? I mean, that's the whole point of this work, is you got to be yourself. And Richard Rudd had to be himself. He had to do it. That's why he had to leave. So anyways, we're going to look at life's work based on the gene keys. And I'm going to start with this just so we tap with everybody, what everybody has, right? The life's work is based on the line number of your personality sun. So this is what I'm going to start with so we can get everybody here in the group talking, and then I'm going to go into the gate one. Okay, so for the line number of the personality sun, which one? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Which are you? What line number are you? Okay, so Lauren's a 5, like me. Charmaine's a 4. Ham's a 5. Oh, we got a lot of 5s. A lot of 5s. Alice is a 4. Megan's a 4. Okay. Keiko is a 3. Wendy is a 2. Is anybody not know? It's on the right-hand side.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
3.
3. Okay. And Alexis was, I think she's the 2, 4, right? Yours is the 5, Cecile? Awesome. Okay, who else do we have on the call? I just want to make sure we're hearing from everybody. Dara's having computer issues. Okay, no worries. No worries. That's fine. Okay, I'm not going to wait on everyone. I just want to make sure I'm not leaving anyone behind, like somebody doesn't know or they need help with it or whatever. Okay. So what we're talking about here is the life's work, okay? So this is the position of the sun personality. And the sun becomes a metaphor for your shine into the world or onto the world. It's your shine, right? So the life's work is not just what you're here to do, because we oftentimes we're asking ourselves, what is our life work? And we really do want a psychic. We want someone to tell us, who are here to be a real estate agent. You're here to be a lawyer, like we want someone to like spell out our life for us. But the essence of the life's work is not just about what you're here to do. The essence is how you do what you do, how you do what you do. It's the underlying quality of what you do, it's the energy beneath all of the action. Okay, so it's the energy beneath. And this energy and this frequency here is shifting a little bit from what we understand in human design. Okay, it's going to be shifting just a little bit. So what we have, gene keys, what it's doing is it's going through the line number not based on the gate. It's going through the line number based on the astrological influences. And so as I go through this, the gate, the line number of the gate, and if you guys haven't guessed, this is going to be my new advanced course. So if you want to go all the way through this journey with me, which I'm going to go through all of the life's work, the evolution, the radiance, your life purpose, through the energies of the astrological influences and through the gate numbers, and your line numbers of the gate. This is going to be my new course that I'm going to take you through. So if you, obviously today we're not going to get through every gate, but if you want to go through this journey with me, it's going to be frigging amazing. The idea of the gene keys is that the astrological influences, right? The astrological influences have a line number, not just like the profile, right? But they have an essence underneath them. So the personality earth is your evolution. Your design sun is your radiance. Your design earth is the life purpose. Okay. And they all are based on the line number. Okay. So it's very different than the way we go through the line numbers in human design. And so I wanted to integrate that. So the line numbers of the personality sun, which you guys all here know what yours is, it's the energy that expresses through your life work. Okay, and that's what we're going to start with today. So here you go, Megan. So basically, what we have is, and you guys can let me know if you relate to this, right? So, I definitely relate. I'm the 5. So the energy beneath the life's work for the line 1 is about the breath. It's sort of about how you are going to move through life in the way you're breathing sort of the energy, the oxygen into um, people's lives, how they breathe, how you breathe. It's the breath. The 2 is about the flow. It's about the motion. You're here to change the way people are in motion, in flow, in movement in their life. The 3 is here to awaken and bring self awareness in the way people feel about themselves, the way people feel about themselves. The 4 is here to change the way people think about other people. Really think and feel about other people, right? It's more of that network. And then 5 is here to influence the way people behave. And the 6 is here to assist in the way people think. So when you're talking about your life's work, you're not necessarily talking about a specific thing you're going to do, but let's just say you're, someone who is coaching and you're able to, if you're a line 1, able to help people in maybe, expanding during moments of stress, during moments of, needing to take in that breath. It could literally be that breath work. So it could be, let's just say in coaching, when you're talking about here, that subtlety of shifting the way people think, shifting the way people behave. And so it's also, I'm just using coaching as an example, but it could be any work that you're doing. It's the energy beneath the work, the energy beneath the work. So we have the breath, the flow, the self awareness, the way you feel about other people, the way people behave, and the way people think. Now, before we go into the next one, I want to ask you guys, have you ever added up how many line 1s you have throughout your chart? How many line 2s? How many line 3s? So, if anybody has added up how many lines they have, go ahead and put it in the chat. Go through the gate. Okay, we're going to start with gate 1. How many of you guys have gate 1? Probably not, it's going to be more rare that we've got a lot of gate 1s, right? But I know Keiko. But who else has our gate 1? And Keiko, go ahead and type in the chat the your line number for the gate 1. Oh, awesome, Alice. Great. Great. I love when we've got a couple people with it. 1 6 in personality and 1 1. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we've got the 1 1, the 1 5, and the 1 6 covered in this call. Awesome. That's exciting. That's exciting. Okay, so now here's how this stuff operates. Okay, so we're talking about gate 1, which is the originality, the self expression, and the creative. Now, here are also the energies within gate 1, which is the 3. This is the shadow of gate 1, which is the entropy. So the shadow, it's this one here off of the G center, and the full channel is the 1/8. Alice, you have the 1/8, right? The full channel. I think Keiko and Alice both have the 1/8. Yeah, from what I understand. So it does operate a little bit differently if it's the hanging or if it's the full channel. So what we have here, so if you had this gate 1 in your life's work, right? So if you had the gate 1 in the life's work, then you would be looking at the shadow, the entropy, the freshness, and the beauty based in your life's work. Okay. So you're going to be are you having your self expression? Are you being creative? Are you having a freshness in your life's work? Right? So, as far as like whether you are, depending on what line number you are are you here to serve that freshness through what other people think, what they're, how they behave, right? How they feel about other people. So these, and let me explain something else. Once we start getting into the line numbers here of the gate, it's a slow, deep contemplation. It's a slow, deep contemplation, because what we're doing now is we're literally contemplating the DNA codes. And it's not something that your mind's going to immediately comprehend. It's something that slowly seeps down into that contemplative space so that you get these aha moments. You guys with me? Does that make sense? So it's a contemplation. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about the fact that we are on the gate 1. It's off of the G center, and it's an individual channel. Okay. So the individual gate off of this center feels the force to have a unique individual creative spirit. So what we have here in this gate 1 is we have this incredible urge to express creatively. It might be a force that wakes you up in the middle of the night, creative, right? So what we have here is this energy of the artist. So, but without the 8, it feels like the art's not getting into the right hands. So oftentimes we do want that collaboration between the 1 and the 8 to help the creativity of the 1. But a couple of you here actually do have that full channel, but still you're going to feel the energy of the gate 1 and the gate 8 within your own consciousness, right? So this is a creative fire. It comes with the individual need to mutate the art. We remember that we have this entropy, the freshness, and the beauty, right? So that's the contemplation, the entropy, the freshness, and the beauty. That's the theme throughout everyone who has this gate 1. If you're feeling the entropy, you're in the shadow. In order to move out of the entropy, you must move through the freshness, right? It just makes so much sense as an artist, right? You got to have something fresh. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this contribution through each line number. Okay. So again, this gate 1 is here to change the world. It's an individual, it's a mutant channel, right? So are you guys ready to go through the line numbers? Oh, it's so good. To me, what it feels like is like diving in the deep end, and then we're like, okay, let's go swimming. Let's go deeper. You guys ready? Okay. So as we know, these are the traditional archetypal energies, right? From the, and this is a horrible picture, but it's the traditional, like 1 is the foundation, 2 is the hermit, 3 is the martyr, 4 is the networkers on the phone, right? 5 is the projection field, and 6 is up on the roof. So we know all of those archetypal energies, right? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to create not just the archetypal energy, but each one of these in gate 1. They have a name, they have a unique energy. And yes, you're going to see those archetypal energies morphed in, but it's going to be a deeper expression. Okay. Your daughter has a 3 and the 1. Awesome. Okay. Because you can let us know if she relates or if you can see this in her, right? So the 3 and the 1. All right. So Raquel, how many gates are you covering today? We're just doing this one gate. I know that's kind of disappointing, but you can come with me on the journey. We're going to go through all of them. I'm going to go through every gate and every line number. So it's really like, imagine taking your whole chart and like taking the time to go through each of the depth of this, it's going to be really fun. Really, really, really fun. Okay. Oh my God, that's so freaking intense. I love it, right? I don't know if you guys doing level 1, if you should do these two together, but you will get there when you get there. It would be kind of a lot. Sometimes it works, but yeah, it's intense. It is so friggin' intense. And this is like something that's been calling me. My whole body's like been tingling for weeks because I'm like, I cannot wait to do this. I just cannot wait to do it. You can't threaten me with a challenge, right? Gate 1, line 1. All right, so I'm going to go through all 6 and then I want to hear from you guys, okay? If you have this. So you guys will unmute yourself and your talk, okay? Gate 1, line 1, manifestation. This is creation is independent of the will. You cannot create a mutation to happen. You cannot you can't go into your art saying, I'm going to change the world with this art. And it doesn't happen that way, right? That's the will. So you have to make sure that mutation happens independently of the force of will. Mutation happens with the right timing. Not everything's meant to mutate. Go look at all those inventions that never, happened, right? Like there's a lot of inventions that never made it. So the creative inspiration becomes unstable if you do not allow for the time and the patience. So if there's a willpower pressure or the force of the artist, if there's a force, the artistry dies. So we see this examples in almost every art form. Okay, so this is our line 2. Okay, gate 1, line 2. The gate 1 comes with the melancholy of stuckness. We know this. This is part of the individual circuitry. Here in the line 2, we see the artist expression affected by the personal ideals or limited by personal desire. Oof, right? So this is the artist's dilemma. The line 2 must go inside, as we know, this is part of the hermit, right? They have to go inside for their inner individual, actually be alone, find itself. It's been conditioned, or if it's interfered with from the outside world, right? If people are like, you better do your art like this, or you get signed by a record label and they're like, hey, you got to do A, B, and C in order to, be successful, then you're going to be threatened. Your art is going to be threatened, right? So they have to go inside to find themselves. And if they're conditioned or interfered with from the outside world, the unique expression might not be seen or called out or even properly birthed into fruition at all. So, in other words, the entire art is jeopardized. So your personal ideas, will you get quiet enough to discover your personal ideas and be courageous enough to not let the outside world influence them? The 1-3. So this is the line 3 to keep things going. This is the energy to sustain the creative work. Will the artist sell out to the highest bidder or go commercial? This is the question of the 3rd line. This is a deep need for pure creative process. So if caught up in the material world, it is possible to block the flow of creativity and the art will be interfered with. Will you stay true to the process, right? The process. So all of these are having the theme of this entropy, the freshness, and the beauty, right? So isn't that interesting? So whenever you feel the entropy or you feel stuck, what's going to bring the freshness? What's going to bring the freshness? So this is that contemplation in this gate 1. Interesting, right? Kind of getting chills. Okay, so gate 1, line 4, solitude. Here's the irony here. Okay, because we know that traditionally we're talking line 4 is all about the networker and going out there and having the network. But when we're talking about the mutant energy, right, this individual line, the individual gate 1 with this line 4, what we're seeing is that they have to do their art in their own solitude. So they have to awaken their creative muse. So the minute that the writer comes out to market the book, so this is interesting because those of you who have the eight is more like the agent, right? You got to be able to get through of the gate 1 before it comes out to the 8, right? They're aware of the 8, but they shouldn't act from it when it comes to the creativity. Other things, yes, but when it comes to going in and creating, the creative fire comes from the inner work, right? So they're not designed to be alone for everything. As we know, they are here to have their network. But when it comes to, let's say, writing or whatever your art is, you gotta find the solitude. If you haven't found the solitude, then you haven't been able to find your originality, the creative self expression, right? Here we have the seduction, the energy of the line 5. We know we have the seduction field here, and we have the energy to attract this society. So, but with this energy, we have the challenge of the projection field. So, the battle of the line 5 is that oftentimes you have the first projection people put on you is very positive. So, they'll be like, oh my God, this person is a creative genius. But then over time, they sort of get knocked down, and the artist doesn't live up to the projection, so they're unable to kind of continue on. Okay, so they must learn an endurance, and over time, they're able to understand that the greatest artists are going to last the test of time. Last the test of time. Does that make sense? You know, the best artists, you can see over time if their art was truly like the authentic voice, right? So most of the true mutant artists, they're here to make real change. If they're here to make real change, they're shunned. So that's the battle here of the 5 is like oftentimes because of the projection field, you're going to see like the one-hit wonders of the world, right? Because they were projected upon, oh, that was their talent, but they weren't able to keep it fresh. They were only able to keep it in that's where the entropy is, right? Is that projection field holds them in the place of like, oh, that was your one hit wonder. You play that song over and over and over and over and over again, right? That is the shadow of this gate 1. Okay, let me go through the line 6, then I want to hear from you guys. So this is the objectivity. So this is the creative expression. It's the clear assessment of the creative value. Okay, so art is subjective, and truly in our time, we can never really evaluate what's great. So we may enjoy music today, but in 10 years, will that song be obsolete? So it's kind of like the Beatles. It's like they're the test of time. It's like the Beatles never, I mean, I've seen like, you know, my nephew's into the Beatles, like the kids in high school are still into the Beatles, right? So the line 6 in every single one of the gates, they're going to go through the 3 stages. They're going to go through that trial and error, through the years of watching, as we talked about the aloof on the roof, right? And they're going to awaken into the objective artist who can sense the true art over time. So if this falls into the subjective value, then they're going to lose their creative power. So if it becomes subjective rather than objective, if it becomes subjective rather than objective, they lose their creative mastery. They must observe, because that's part of this line 6. They must observe and awaken into the flower of the objective artist, right? So I love this quote, and I did post this in the group recently, and I was really like, it just was such a great raw quote. If you look at the 64 gates and you look at all the 6 lines, you can divide them up into the 3 keynotes, the Saturnian, which is the Saturn process, which you were talking about, the Saturn return, right? So each one of these line 6s, when we go through them all, they're going to have these 3 energies, the roof keynotes and the transcendent keynotes. They're really there. It's built into it. So you're going to feel that energy on all your gates that you have with that line 6. And that's the contemplation that we're going to go through in this journey. Right.
I can share.
Yay.
I'm the one, gate 1. I'm red and black, line 5, projected upon, shunned. I went to an art one time. I entered an art well, it was an art club in the city near me, and this one lady made fun of my tree and how I drew the tree, and she said something kind of bad about it, and it sort of pushes me down. But then I keep trying, you know what I mean, to practice the art. I do it, you know, because I'm very moody, so it helps me when I'm in my low wave. And it also, art helps me when I'm trying to learn something. I use a lot of the right brain, symbolism, colors, you know, pictures and things to help me remember things. If I can see it like in a picture, then I can remember it better than with words. I don't know. That's line 5. I've never heard this before, so it's kind of new to me. I would have to kind of think, like, how does this apply in my life? I'm trying to think of an example or anything, but.
Interesting, right? So do you guys see Keiko's chart, just so you can kind of get a look at as she's talking? You guys see it? Okay. So I just wanted to pull up her chart. Yeah, so she's talking her 1-5 she's got here. This is her line 5. So this is, you know, the line 5, you do have this line 5, you know, it is part of your design. It's part of that projection field. It's part of just having a natural seduction as well. So
does it make a difference though when you have the whole, since I have the whole channel, would the one show up differently?
Yeah, it absolutely would show up differently. When you have the full channel, you're going to have the energy of the 8, which is going to pull you out of the artistry, right? So I think that is the battle, is being able to go inside and make sure that you're true to that creativity before you're bringing it out to the marketplace or to the world.
And I mean, you always think of the artist or art as in like painting and drawing and sculpting or something, but it can be in so many other things. And
everything.
Yeah. It can be in how you think. It can be in belief systems. It can be, you know, mutation can happen in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I love how you said you were shunned. Was that one of the things that you felt like, did you feel the energy of that?
Oh yeah, especially because the 1-8's been called the turtle syndrome, because it comes right out of my G, of my core of who I am.
Right.
And so I was just drawing the tree, you know, of what I saw one day, and then I had it, and some big fancy artist lady knocked me down that it was kind of elementary, because so many people think that you have to have like schooling and education and college work to be a fine real artist, you know. And so I don't have all that. I've just practiced and played with it without. But so yeah, when I get criticized for something that's deep in me like that from the G, you just want to hide and put your head back into the shell. So that's really, really easy to get knocked down. I did one jury show. This was my one jury show, and I made it into the jury. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just doodling, you know, but it was really fun. And I mean, like, when I do art, it's like, it speaks to me. Like, so I do it and I don't really know what I'm drawing and why I'm drawing it. But then later on, maybe a year or even further, it'll be like, oh, that's what that meant.
Yeah.
To me, it brings stuff out that I can't see in words. And with the lower, okay, I have a split, so that emotion comes from low down, but it doesn't go to the throat. So expressing myself is kind of hard verbally, but I can, somehow the energy comes out differently when it's emotion. It's actually right brained, not left brained. It's very right brained how it comes out of me, my emotion. So a lot of people don't understand that. They want me to explain myself better or use specific words, but it's difficult. And I can really relate to somebody who has like an open throat. It would be hard for them to express in words. Yeah. So. I'm really learning about my lower down there emotional thing and how emotions transmute out of me. Since they don't go to the throat, how do I get that energy out and how am I expressing that? And art is one way for me to do that. And it doesn't always make sense. It looks like really wacky art maybe sometimes, but that for me, it's the right thing.
I love that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Alice, do you want to share?
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
It's been so interesting. Thank you so much, Raquel. I one of the I suppose enlightening moments from tonight is when you mentioned about the gate one wakening you up in the middle of the night. I constantly wake up during the night from a divine intelligence giving me downloads with inspiration, with potential inventions, and to the point it actually amazes me on a regular basis to what I'm given. I do psychic and mediumship work as well as having a corporate day job, but the things that come in apply to so many different areas to the point where I'm excited about taking a lot of these creative things forward and actually getting patents for them. So that's interesting. And then going into the 1-1 and looking at allowing it the time and the patience for things to evolve is really, really important because my whole makeup is I need to know everything. So it has to be right before I can move things forward. But interestingly, when you're talking about the 1-6 and not losing that creative power, I'm also a big procrastinator as well. So I'll sit on things too long and then I'll lose interest in it. So yeah, all that makes so much perfect sense. But I get it as well from being the 4-6. I don't know too much about human design. I'm still learning. But being the server and how I can support other people, and a lot of the things I get as the downloads and through my job and through my mediumship, it is serving other people and getting my inventions out into the world. Would have a massive impact if I can follow it through. So yeah, it makes complete sense.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Beautiful. So let me read here this chat from Pam. She says, my daughter does not like art classes. They force a specific technique or structure and she becomes completely uninspired. Line 1. Oh, right. Really interesting. She really hasn't had any experience with her art being a material commercial thing yet. Line 3. She gets a lot of recognition for her ability to play music and create art. Line 5, right. As a 3-5, she will keep reinventing herself. Yes, so maybe won't be the one-hit wonder. Time will tell. Exactly. So interesting, right? I think as long as she continues to be true to herself, and like, yeah, like having a mom being able to be like, yeah, of course you're not gonna like the class. You gotta be true to your own gay one, your own expression, right? Why I love all of you who are parents who are showing up and learning the ability to bring it to their kids, right? It's really, really important to do. And, able to like give that gift to our, the younger generation. I love that. Can I say something? Yeah. Yeah.
You were saying the breath beneath is so the line 5 is how to something about helping people behave.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's in the life's work.
It's so funny because okay, I'm a 3-5, so lots of experimentation, lots of the wrong way. I've done it the wrong way most of my life. But I also, both my channels that I have are both individual. So I'm very individual. I just get spit up and chewed up and spit out by the groups most of the time, and I think with me changing, you know, I just want to say something to your classes. Your classes have extremely changed my life. I came to this in 2011 and I didn't get it until I got to Raquel, which was only what, 2019. So, I mean, I got some of it, but it didn't all come together. It was like I had to decondition, then learn the material or something, because, you know, it took time for me. And I see now that, like, how I act is how I change other people, is just showing up as me. But if I'm scared in the 1-8 to contribute to the group, it's very difficult. And then I have to wait until I'm invited. So it's a very lonely road at times being an individual, because I have to wait for the invitation, wait for the right group. I got to wait for the right timing. And then I might even like piss them off, because if I challenge their behavior, and you know, nobody really likes changing their behavior. And so it's a really, that was interesting to me, that to look at the breadth of changing behavior or being the fixer. And but with so much experimentation, I have a lot of wisdom of what not to do and what's worked, what hasn't worked, you know, and those kind of things. So, you know, I seem like a weirdo to people, but I just keep trying to show up, and being in your classes has really helped me a whole lot to show up on camera, to show up in my life, you know, and to participate in the correct way so that I don't piss people off, you know. And I just don't see that happening in manifesting generators as much. They just don't have the same problems we do as projectors. So that's all. I just want to say that your classes have really helped me. And if anybody's on the fence about that, and you need help, I would highly suggest her classes, because they're really linear. You brought me, you know, in a way that I could understand it, from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next.
Thank you, Keiko. I love you.
You're welcome. I love you too. I
I
mean, like,
love your
to me,
energy.
like,
I love your uniqueness. And you know what I will say is, anyone who is an individual struggling with that, you know, this is the time of the individual. And I mean, we're not quite there yet, but this is who we're going to be seeking out. And there's so many people that need you to be you, so that you can provide that wisdom and that example to them. And everyone's going to be looking to the individual, because that is what we're going to need as we move through, you know, over the next couple years. You guys, I hate to do this, as much as I love every single one of you here, and I'm very much into this conversation and everything that you guys are expressing. I am going to start wrapping this up. I do want to thank you guys all for being here live, or if you're here listening to the recording, I want to honor in everybody's journey. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to come on this journey with me, I'd love to have you, because I really want to, I think this is really important. And it's the time to go deep into the contemplation, to go deep into the shadows, go deep into the gifts, go deep into the highest expression of all of the gates and all of the lines. Like I said, if you're, you know, this is going to be kind of an advanced, but I also think that a lot of people are not doing this in human design. So I think it's going to be really, really exciting. But I will say that it is, when you invest in yourself and you invest in this transformation, your inner transformation to live as your truth, it is game changing. And it is like, it will literally put you on the path of your purpose, of a career that you love, a life that you love. Like, it doesn't happen obviously immediately for everybody. Some people it does. Some people you have to go through that full deconditioning. But it's the space to explore. It's the space to go through all of this and give yourself the ability to bring it forward to your community, the ability to bring it forward to your clients, because that's kind of how it is. It's like, I have to channel it. I don't like, you know, here's the thing. It's not something that, in my personal opinion, it shouldn't be something you just read in a book. You never get to experience it. You never get to really live it. You never get to have the journey with it, right? You have to go through the process. And so for me, it's really about bringing it forward from my expression, which is usually what people need, is something to simplify it and some way to make it practical for their lives, right? I mean, obviously I've gone through all of the material, but to really personalize it, to really experience it, you got to give yourself the time to take that journey. And that's so beautiful, is to give yourself the time to really take that journey. Oh yeah, there is Wendy. This is also fascinating to me. I'm at the beginning of the HC education, but I'm certain I found the perfect teacher guide and looking forward to the journey. Aw, Wendy. But thank you guys for all being here. Really, really, really mwah, big kisses to all of you. Big hearts. I love you guys. And hey, happy Friday night. Have a great weekend, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you're interested in joining us on the journey through the gates, this is advanced certification for human design. I will be happy to answer your questions. You can email me at support@raquelreina.com, and I would love to share with you a little bit more about this course. It's going to be such a fun and powerful, powerful journey. I just cannot wait to share it with you.